She wanna vibe with me. I told her, little baby, just go ahead and sit down. Ay, she wanna ride with me. I told her, little baby, you just for the click now. Ay, rockstar status my motive. Look how I came in.
What's going on, HomeCourt fam? For you guys, we got a special guest today. We got Zachary Gardy out of Chicago, Illinois. This man ran Mahomes Business School for about 4 years, having a 4.0 GPA, being one of the smartest kids in the school. He wants to take his career in the sports direction, and he thinks that he's going to come on today's show. He's going to out-debate me and Alejandro. What's going on, Gardy? How's it going?
Let's go. I'm happy to be here, ready to absolutely kill you, Keon, and your clown takes. I've been listening to the show for way too long. You've always been coming off with some.
All right. I guess we better get to it then before you.
I'm just here to put
you can feel the real heat of HomeCourt. So, as we all know, the Kansas City Chiefs, they've been falling off a little bit. They've been struggling a little bit. They've been losing the last 3 of their 5 games, including losses to the Chargers, Bills, and Titans. And this is not the Chiefs that we are accustomed to seeing. And in turn, a lot of people think Patrick Mahomes has been struggling, and it's looking like he's not the godsend that people thought he was. Everyone thought he was the best quarterback in the league, most talented. This year, it's looking a little different. So I guess I want to introduce the topic and the question of, is Patrick Mahomes still the best quarterback in the league, and has he fallen off? And I will like to give the question to Gardy, see what he's coming with today, since he's talking all high and mighty.
So here's where I'm at with Patrick Mahomes. Huge fan, drafted him super early in my fantasy football league, and he has not fallen off. In fact, I'm not really worried about Patrick Mahomes at all. Here's what I have to say about the situation. First off, the Chiefs' defense is just horrendous. Like, they are so bad. They rank 27th in the league in points allowed and 28th in the league in yards allowed. So there's definitely going to be chemistry issues between the Chiefs' defense and the Chiefs' offense. Every time Mahomes gets on the field, they need him to go score a touchdown or get points, or else they're already at a disadvantage, which is definitely taking its toll on Mahomes. Additionally, Patrick Mahomes, his offense is not bad. Like, he's averaging 26.9 points per game. Yes, as of recent, he's been averaging 18 points per game. But I think that's a function of just fatigue. Like, he has had the mindset, which is the right mindset, that he needs to go in and put up points every single drive. But eventually, like, that's not sustainable. So the Chiefs need a culture check. I believe they will be there by the end of the season. I don't know to what degree. I believe they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're fresh off of a Super Bowl loss to the GOAT, but I mean, until someone knocks them off in the playoffs, it's just chemistry building from here for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Gardy, I just want to add something to that real quick. We kind of talked about this last week and how the teams that have the opportunity to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have to be good teams, have to have good offenses. So let's take a look at the teams that they've lost to. They've lost to the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, and the Titans. All of those teams are top teams in the AFC, probably top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC. And yeah, I mean, they might have fallen off. They might not be 1A or 1B or 2 or 3, but they're going to be in the playoffs. And their defense is also going to get better too. Defenses usually get better as the year goes on. So kind of just going off Gardy's point, I do agree that Mahomes hasn't fallen off. And by the end of the year, they'll make the playoffs. And in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, you cannot bet against that man.
Did you guys pick him to go to the Super Bowl before the season?
I did.
Gardy?
I personally didn't.
Okay. So do you think they're going to finish around the same as what you guys originally predicted, or different now?
Yeah, I mean, once again, the regular season is just all for debate. Until I see it in the postseason, I need Lamar Jackson. I need Derrick Henry's Titans. I need one of those teams to beat him in the postseason before I believe he's fallen off. I still think he's that guy. I still think he's making spectacular plays. He's going to get it together. I know he will.
Okay. So I'm just going to attack Gardy right off the bat. So the initial point you made was that, Patrick Mahomes, he's not the issue. It's the defense, yada, yada. Well, if you look at the history of the NFL, When a quarterback is cheap, like obviously Patrick Mahomes was a young player. He still is a young player, but before he got paid, they had a lot of money where they could spread it around. Now that he's got his money, this is what it's going to be for Patrick Mahomes. They can't go out and get top-tier defensive players. The only reason that happened with Tom Brady was because Tom Brady would take pay cuts all the time. So this is – I mean, I'm not saying don't get your money, but this is what Mahomes is going to have to deal with for a long period of time. And if this is what he's dealing with and this is the results, then I don't know if this is ideal for the Chiefs. You say Patrick Mahomes in the offense is playing great. I do agree. They're still a top-tier offense, but Patrick Mahomes specifically is definitely falling off. This man has thrown an interception in his last 6 games. This guy was known for being one of those guys that just doesn't turn the ball over like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Those guys don't throw 6 games in a row, don't have 6 games in a row with the pick. He's tied with Zach Wilson at 9 total in the season. Think about that for a second. Zach Wilson, the Jets starting quarterback, is tied with Patrick Mahomes for the most interceptions in the league. He has 18 touchdowns, which is good, but that's only a touchdown turnover ratio of 2-1. And in comparison to the GOAT, who people have said the past 3 years that this guy is better than Tom Brady. Compared to that, Brady has 21 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Look at that TD to interception ratio compared to his. It's drastically different. And when you look at him as a passer, he's only 8th in the league right now with his passer rating. This is also with a top 3 skill position group in the league easily. He's still got Kelsey on his team. He's still got Tyreek Hill. He had Clyde. Obviously, Clyde got hurt. But, hey, their new running back is looking just as good as Clyde ever did. So I still think they have an elite offensive group around him. And he still has Andy Reid, one of the most innovative and best offensive coaches in the league. It's not that Mahomes is being bad or anything. He's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. It's just we have heard for so long he might be the greatest to ever do it. He's the most talented. He is the best deep ball. He's the most accurate. And right now, that's just not the case. You can name 5 other quarterbacks in the league that are playing better than him right now, which has never, ever happened since Patrick Mahomes took over the starting job with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I want you to name those 5 quarterbacks real quick.
That have outplayed Mahomes this year?
I just want you to name them.
Okay, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
All right, so how many of those quarterbacks, if you have your own team, are you taking before Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, we're talking about this season.
Yeah, but I mean,
outplayed them.
But even right now, how many of those quarterbacks are you
falling off?
How many of those quarterbacks are you taking before Patrick Mahomes?
Right now,
You're taking all 5 of them. You're taking Dak Prescott right now?
This moment?
Yeah,
all playing better than him. I want the better players. So, yeah, I'll take the better players at the moment.
Yeah, I got a question.
I'm not saying Mahomes can't turn it around because he obviously can. I just conceded that he was the best player in the league or the most talented player for the past 2 seasons. But right now, those 5 guys are playing better than him.
All right, so if they're playing better, if you put one of those 5 guys on the Chiefs, are the Chiefs suddenly a lot better?
Yes. Tom Brady on the Chiefs. Oh, I forgot about Aaron Rodgers, too. That's 6. Tom Brady on the Chiefs, they're not turning the ball over as much. Because another thing, Gardy, you mentioned that I agree with is that Patrick Mahomes is pressured to put up points. But what he does that other quarterbacks don't do is he presses. So he knows he's got to score points, so now he's trying to throw the deep ball every time. Where Brady, he understands clock management. He knows we need to be on the field for a long time so that our defense isn't on the field for a long time. Because if you look at time of possessions, they get killed in that. So Brady's throwing those little screens, those little 5-yard, 6-yard, 8-yard passes, where Mahomes is he's pressing more for the deep ball, which is where the interceptions are coming. So I do think there are players. I think Rodgers, Brady on this Chiefs team with these weapons, they would be doing better right now.
I just don't think there's a better quarterback for the Chiefs system. One, not even Tom Brady. I think the Chiefs are built around Patrick Mahomes, and that's why they offered him that max contract. Additionally, I don't think defenses have figured out Mahomes in terms of all these interceptions that you've mentioned. Most of his interceptions that I've watched have just been tipped balls from wide receivers that have just absolutely kind of hurt Mahomes and screwed him over. Like a lot of them are greatly thrown balls that are just unluckily tipped and dropped. So yes, he has been sloppy. He has been scrambling and making plays out of desperation because his defense forces him to put up points. But those problems will be fixed by the postseason.
Alejandro, you got anything, or you want me to refute?
Yeah, just going off Guardy again. I've seen 3 of those innings. I've seen 2 of them to Tyreek, and I saw another one last week. He's had a few bad turnovers, like the one where he's falling to the ground and he kind of like threw it up to in the air to like the Washington football team, and his fumble last 2 was pretty bad too. But I mean, both of those were him trying to make plays while his teams were down, and against most teams, most weeks that's not going to be the case. And kind of just going against Keon's earlier point that, like Patrick Mahomes is getting paid a lot, they're not going to be able to like hire a lot of great defensive players. Patrick Mahomes has done that his whole time on the Kansas City Chiefs. He's never had a great defense. They've always been average to below average.
The Super Bowl year, they're average. They're average.
Yeah, and last year they were 22nd in the league. So there's only like 10 worse teams than them on the defensive side of the ball.
I will say that a lot of NFL aficionado, they say that the Super Bowl last year, that the Bucs kind of gave the blueprint onto how to defend the Chiefs in the way that they did it, because obviously the Chiefs really struggled in that Super Bowl. That was the first time we've ever seen that offense really be like, just honestly, like overwhelmed. Like they couldn't really do anything in that Super Bowl. And I mean, we've seen that a few times this year, especially in this last game where they put up 3 points against the Titans. The Chiefs from 2 years ago were never, ever putting up 3 points in a game.
Yeah, but I mean, just kind of going off that point, a lot of teams, like kind of what the Bucs did in the Super Bowl, just kind of going off Keon's point, was that they had a great front 7 and they were able to rush 4 and kind of get to Patrick Mahomes and drop 7 back. And a lot of the teams in the NFL, I mean, a lot of the great teams might be able to do that in the playoffs, but not every team has a great 4 that can just rush Patrick Mahomes and give him 4 or 5 seconds in the pocket and just let him like figure out who to pass it to.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hopefully you like watching HomeCourt. I'm with my boy Franklin right there, Franklin the Turtle. If you like watching our content and want to see more of us and Franklin, just subscribe and watch any of these videos right there.